Now, I may have made some pretty big statements in my last video about Nike's new skate shoe. Some were in hope, but after skating these shoes for 3 weeks, just about every other day, I've come to a full conclusion and wear test on the new Nike SB Forces 58. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're all having a great day, and if you could tap on that like button, it's greatly appreciated. Consider subscribing and make sure you turn on that bell thingamajiggy down the bottom as well. And if you have a shoe suggestion for me, leave it down in the comments below. Got to start off on the shoe itself. It's a really nice shoe to kick around in. It's a nice shoe to look down at it when you skate. And what I also found is, like, at the skate park or when you're out and about, you get people asking you about the shoe, like, more so, is it the new Dunk or are you wearing Dunks? I mentioned that because, like, I originally in my first video, if you haven't seen that, I'll leave that linked up here. I mentioned that it's like it feels and looks to me, and like a lot of compliments and a lot of people I come across even say this too, it sort of looks like a Dunk. Like, I was hoping in hope when I was saying these things. It's like this could be Nike's new version of the Dunk. It's quite slimmed down. It's not as bulky as the Dunk. It's $50 AUD cheaper than the Dunk as well. So that's what I mean, like the new, more accessible option for people to try and get the Dunk, because they are really hard to get your hands onto at the moment. Because it does look a little bit like a Dunk. It does fit like a Dunk and a Jordan too. It fits quite wide around like the toe area. It hasn't got that quite a square toe box as the Dunk though, so this one's like a little bit more pointier. The upper of the shoe is made with a combination of suede and heavy canvas. This combination looks and feels great for an upper, but boy do my feet sweat, and they get stinky even with the perforated holes around the toe and on top of the toe cap. But under these holes there is this thick material that seems to like block the ventilation, and just like, yeah, I found personally my feet really sweated in these shoes. The shoe itself is a cup sole with no removable insole. Nike do say it's the future of the cup sole, but I'm not too sure about that. The shoe does take a while to break in. It starts off very, very stiff, but even to the point now, it's still quite stiff around the heel and the midsection. The toe is loosened up a bit. It will take you around 2 to 3 sessions to break in. Though after each of those 2 to 3 sessions, your feet, or personally my feet, were quite sore, like after skating these shoes. Being a cup sole, you think the impact protection in this would be pretty good, but it's actually next to none there. So you would want to go ahead and put some insoles in there if you're jumping down or anything, or jumping down anything, or some bigger gaps like that. I even found landing primo was quite an issue. You really do feel every inch of impact in these shoes. They do skate pretty well. Like, I mean, like, I enjoy them. The flick on them is solid and it's pretty consistent too. And like I said in my last video, it's not quite like the full square toe box of a normal Dunk. It is tapered off a little bit, but not a full taper like a Tyshawn Jones like shoe, which I currently have. That heel area is something that I really enjoyed. That extra really thick canvas around the heel, I feel like it makes a difference, and you really get a nice consistent heel flick. They do have a great grip when needed with their TriStar tread, which is meant to expand and contract for better board feel, which it does have pretty good board feel, which, like, in return, the impact protection is just not quite there yet. And in saying that, I think it's like the shoe acts a bit more like a vulcanized shoe than a cup sole. Back on the TriStar tread though, it has not lasted as long as I'd liked, and it's worn down quite quick in my high wear areas, even on my switch foot too. At this point, I can really notice the lack of grip on my front foot, especially if you get some dirt or some like crusty, concretey stuff underneath your shoe or in between your shoe and the grip tape. You just, at this point, I'm really struggling to get some grip at times. Now, onto the upper of the shoe and the durability of the suede. I tore a hole in this first little bit up here in the first week or so, maybe 2 weeks. Shoe glued it up, shoe glues up nicely. After that, another one came in like right next to it as well. There is this thicker sock liner underneath the suede, which will buy you a little bit more time, and you won't like end up tearing any socks, or not that quickly anyway. So that is like a positive. It's got that little bit of extra reinforcement, but that's probably another reason why I found like my feet got really sweaty and stinky in these, because there is that liner that runs all the way inside of the shoe that does stop the breathability of the shoe. Some of the stitches have worn away around the toe upper, and the shoe is starting to open up that little bit around there as well. Outsole in the flick area is holding up really well so far. It's just the sole that's really starting to let this shoe down. The heavy canvas on the heel cap has had hardly any damage on it. Overall, I did enjoy the way these skated and looked on feet as well. Got plenty of compliments at the skate park. A lot of people were mentioning, like, are they the Dunks and like they look like Dunks? A lot of people are fooled by this. Like I said in the first video, that did Nike make this slimmed down version of the Dunk? Overall, it's like, it is sort of a cheaper version of the Dunk. It's slimmed down, it's not as heavy and not as bulky. But if you skate pretty hard, you'll find these shoes lasting maybe only 3 weeks. And if you wear down your sole like I do personally, like it's at the point where that sole is starting to bubble, or the tread is starting to bubble because it's worn down so far. No, it's pretty much straight onto the non-removable insole. So that's 3 weeks of skating, and that's a little bit disappointing in like a $110 shoe, but again, that's $110. That's pretty cheap for a skate shoe these days, where a lot of your Vans are $160 to $200, and I'm talking AUD, by the way. After I patched up the upper with the shoe glue, no issues there. Even though the stitches tore on the top there, hasn't really affected anything. The flick area is great. Even wearing down that flick area, there's plenty of meat there still. But let me know in the comments, are you going to skate the Force 58s? Have you skated the Force 58s? And until the next video, guys, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.